Members of the jury, Whit Bowman opened the door. She opened the door to a skimming scheme at Rocker World that stole tens of thousands of dollars. And Whit Bowman opened the door, and because she opened that door, this man, Winston Thomas, lies in a coma today. Now, a few hours ago, my co-counsel Chelsea Bratton came up here today, and she told you about a few things that the prosecution had to prove. Let's go through those charges again. The state brings 2 charges against the defendant, Whit Bowman. The first is that the defendant helped plan a skimming scheme that stole money from Rocker World. And second, that in an attempt to assist in a robbery, the defendant caused grave physical injury to Officer Winston Thomas. Today, the state had the burden of proof. We had to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was guilty of these 2 charges, that the defendant opened the door to these 2 charges. Today, the state has met its burden. Let's go through each charge one by one and look what the state has proven today. So first, the skimming scheme. Today, investigator Francis Kimball came up here today and told you through his 200 plus cases in investigating crimes, he told you how he investigated this crime and the physical evidence he examined. He confirmed a skimming scheme was taking place, and he showed how it was possible. He also confirmed that Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman were working together. We looked at a few text messages today. Let's go through some of them one by one. Got to get box. What is that implying? Officer Kimball said today that the box is the box of fake World Tour bracelets that Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman were using to skim money from the park. If Whit Bowman had nothing to do with this crime, why would Cameron text Whit, got to get box, let me in, it's time? It's because Whit Bowman had everything to do with it. We can see Whit Bowman responded, Tunnel of Terror, 12:45, be cool, wait for me. She was in on it. We learned that these 2 found out that their little gig was up, that management had found out. They decided to get the box, run through the park, and get out. That's theft by deception. Let's move on to the second charge. That in an attempt to assist in a robbery, the defendant caused grave physical injury to Officer Winston Thomas. Now today, Tyler Hartman came up here today and he testified to you that he overheard some strange things in the bathroom. He heard Whit Bowman say, I have a plan to get what Longstreet owes you. This was just days before the robbery occurred. Now, this would be strange enough, but this plan that Tyler Hartman was talking about, it happened just days later. Haley Floyd was held up. It's not contested today that a robbery occurred, but the state proved that Whit Bowman opened the door to the escape. Billy Isaacs came up here today and she testified to you how Whit approached her over again to take over her ride. When Isaacs said no, the defendant finally concocted a story that Longstreet gave her the day off, something that never happened. Now, why would the defendant lie in order to take over a ride? Well, let's look at the map. We can see that the robbery occurred at the ticket booth over here. Why didn't Cameron Poole steal and run out this direction? Because they knew Officer Francis Kimball would be waiting. So what was the plan instead? Grab the cash, grab the bracelets, run through the park into the Tunnel of Terror where Whit Bowman was working. Cameron Poole would run through the Tunnel of Terror, out the back door where Whit Bowman would kill the lights, hiding Cameron Poole's escape. Whit Bowman was there at the exact time. She hit the blackout mode at the exact second in the entire summer of 2012 to conceal her co-conspirator's escape. That's not a coincidence. Now, today, Francis Kimball reaffirmed that. He said the timing was just too perfect. Right when Cameron Poole walked out of that door, the lights went dark. Officer Winston Thomas was hit. And because those lights went out, he was hit, and he remains in a coma to this day. Now, what happened after Cameron Poole got out? It's not the end of the story. if we look back to the text messages, we can see right after Cameron Poole's escape, he texts Whit Bowman, "I'm out, talk to you later, thanks." Why would he thank Whit Bowman unless Whit Bowman had provided the escape for him? Now next, Whit Bowman says, "Where are you now? Where are you? Call me now." Now let's go back to the testimony of Charlie Kaminsky. He said that he overheard a phone call between Cameron Poole and what he thought was Whit Bowman. Call me now? We can see exactly what happened. Poole called Bowman. Now what did we hear in these conversations? Cameron Poole said, we were going to get caught. I got rid of your blade. No one will know you had anything to do with it. That's not someone standing idly on the sidelines. That's someone acting with Cameron Poole. Today the defense has tried to say that Whit Bowman is just a scapegoat. That because we are so focused on Whit Bowman that we're ignoring the actions of Cameron Poole. But members of the jury, we have proved today that they were working together. Whit Bowman provided the escape for Cameron Poole, and Whit Bowman aided in the skimming scheme. Today, Ms. Floyd admitted on cross-examination that only 35 tickets would need to be stolen in order for the $500 benchmark or bar to be met to implicate Whit Bowman in a skimming scheme. That's 35 tickets out of 18,000 tickets that were sold that summer. Members of the jury, that's less than one bracelet skimmed every 2 days. We have shown that the defendant opened the door to the skimming scheme. The state has shown that the defendant opened the door to Cameron Poole's escape. Cameron Poole is guilty of these 2 crimes. We respectfully ask that you find her guilty. Thank you.